Hello, my name is Alexander Watson, and I would like to talk to you today about leadership in action. When I first started my path towards learning about leadership, I saw a lot of things about emotional IQ and empathy and self discipline, self talk, how I talk to myself. I read a good book about soundtracks, people skills, communication skills. You have to be able to relate your ideas to someone in a way that they understand and accept what you're propositioning to them. Now, I looked up authentic leadership in my quest of learning what a leader really does, and I saw things such as sense of purpose, self discipline, self awareness, which I find is key. We'll get back to that. People centered connections. That was something that was very difficult for me because I've been an introvert my whole life. Transparency, being open and honest. I've never had a problem with that because I want people to see exactly what I have to offer, exactly what I'm saying. I just try to be, let's just make this happen. And then being open to other viewpoints. That was something else I really needed to work on because I always thought that since I looked at the problem and saw a solution very quickly, that it was the best solution. And instead of relying on other people's input, I would just roll with whatever solution I found. And then when it didn't work, I was left holding the bag. And really, what I should have done is I should have worked with my team. I should have developed those personal skills to do that. And something that I wanted to talk about is leadership in action requires some action on your part before you even come into a leadership position. Personality traits such as emotional IQ and empathy and self discipline and self awareness can be developed, but it takes a considerable amount of effort and time on your part to develop these things. And you want to do this because you want to bring the best possible version of yourself into the position that you're carrying as a leader. I looked at this as from the homeless shelter standpoint. I've just completed a long-term recovery program, and I was starting a Bible study, and I was working with guys one-on-one on a regular basis. And I told every one of them when I worked with them, I spend 3 to 4 hours a week prepping for this 1 hour of time with you because your time is precious. Time is the number one commodity you can give someone. And so I want to honor your time and honor what you think by spending the time developing the plan, the lesson plan for us to go over. And I just started doing that with leadership in the workplace. I started preparing myself the day ahead of schedule, or a few days ahead of schedule, or even weeks ahead of schedule for something that I knew I had going on because I wanted to bring the best possible outcome to everyone's lives. I was authentic in my desire to see others succeed. I wanted to solve a problem for other people. And I wanted the solution to be a good solution that was useful for them. I wasn't looking at cost. I wasn't looking at the bottom line. I wasn't taking a let's see approach. I prepared myself. And leadership in action is as much about preparation as it is about the action itself. You have to be diligent and you have to be authentic in your approach to leading others. Now, we talk about authenticity and some of the quagmires behind it, being yourself and being yourself in such a way that you are being true to yourself. Let's say you're a mathematician and yet now you're leading a group of individuals in the math department. Well, your skill set, you're being authentic to yourself with mathematics, but that doesn't translate necessarily to leading other mathematicians in a program at a university. That takes a different skill set, a skill set that you haven't used up to this point. So something you have to develop. And as you go along, developing these skill sets, learning, improving yourself, thinking about how to help other people, you're going to notice a change within yourself. You're going to grow as an individual. And that's so important. That's what life is all about. Growing as people, growing as individuals, growing together as well. That's all essential to making a good, strong leader. Now you're leading by action in what you do in the boardroom, in what you do in the office space, and how you show up early to work, how you stay late to put the extra time in to do what's necessary. Those are all examples of ways that you're leading in action by showing the example. That rubs off on people eventually. They'll see your positive attitude. They'll see that you are working towards something bigger than yourself. And when they see that, a lot of people are like, hey, what's going on with that? Maybe I can get in on that. I like the direction he's going or the direction she's going. I want to be more involved with that. Let me get on that team. Well, what happens on the reverse side? You don't do anything. You get the new position. You get stuck in a leadership role. You read a couple books on leadership and you think, hey, I got this. But you don't work on developing any of the skills. What's going to happen in the workplace? Failure. You're going to have disengaged work team members. You're going to have people that don't think that their 2 cents is being heard. You're going to have other people that think that they can do a better job than you because they probably could because you haven't put forth any effort. Now let's be real about it. To be a true leader, you really have to put in authentic effort to better the lives of those around you. Now, you're thinking about work life. Okay? What does the personal life have to do with this? Well, a lot, actually. I've found that most of the guys that I worked with, if I didn't ask them how their week was going, or what they need to work on, or what they're concerned about personally, then they didn't give me too much leeway in the way of leadership because they didn't want to listen to what I had to say because I wasn't paying attention to them as individuals. Paying attention to them as individuals was essential to unlocking their potential as homeless men in a program wanting to better their lives, but they didn't know what was going on with it. They didn't know how to approach it. They didn't think anybody cared. A lot of them had lost hope. And just by taking an interest in their personal lives on a weekly basis and following up with them and being authentic in my follow-up, I would come to them in the middle of the week. Hey, are you still struggling with this? Hey, are you still working on that? Do you still need help with this? How's your homework? Do you need some help with homework? I can do that for you later this week. I was being authentic in my engagement with them and showing them that I genuinely cared about their success. And when that happened, the guys around me started being extremely productive. Whether I was actually helping them or not, just the offer that, hey, this is here, this is there. We can make this happen together. It started giving these guys hope. They started to see that somebody genuinely cared, and their actions completely changed. A lot of these guys have addiction problems, and that's a unique situation to a workplace. But a lot of these guys struggled a lot less when they were able to talk to somebody about it. Now, if I approach leadership as, hey, I'm in charge, you guys all need to do what I say, and I haven't developed some of these personality traits, like emotional IQ, being invested in my people, self-awareness of where I'm coming from, what I'm trying to do, and what I'm trying to help people with, if I'm not being authentic with myself and with others, if I don't do any of those things, then I'm going to fail as a leader. Now, failure is not the end of the game. Failure does not necessarily mean that you cannot be successful in the future. Quite the opposite. A lot of successful people tell you their failures led to their success. So if you've failed in the past, don't beat yourself up too hard about it. Just work on the next right thing, developing your personality traits and skills, and then we'll see you leading in the future, no problem. I think that'd be great for you, great for the people around you, and great for the city you live in and the country that you live in and the companies you work for. Have a great day. Thank you.